You are tuned in to that PRAYzy station, PRAYzy.FM, where we get our praise on. 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Hello, and welcome to Raising the Diamond. Raising or rising the diamond in you? I don't know what to call it. Rising the diamond in you. I am Dr. Lady Raine, and we are joined by our host. Who's our host this evening? Okay, she's not even saying anything. She's just looking. Dr. Yolanda is the host. She's just like, just sitting there. We have a guest this evening, Stacey Williams, and we have a great show for you. We're going to try to talk what we got to say and say what we got to talk in about 30 minutes. We're going to try to do that thing. So today's topic is single parents, single motherhood. How about that? Because I know, men, y'all can listen, because we know we got some men out there that's single fathers, but I can't speak on being a single father because I'm a woman. So, and I'm joined by women. So we're going to talk about single motherhood. And fathers, if you want to chime on in, and we do invite you all to come on in the chat box and give us some feedback on what we're going to talk about today. If you have any questions, anything you want to say, look, this is interactive, and we're so excited to share our experience with you. And we talking about the diamond in the rough, because we got some rough edges, let me tell y'all. But hey, that doesn't stop a diamond from shining, and it's definitely not going to stop us from shining as well. So, Dr. Yolanda, how you doing?
Hi. I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing good. And Stacey, how are you?
I'm great, thanks.
Good. So today's topic, again, as I said, we're talking about single motherhood. So I'm not going to start first. I'm going to ask one of you. You know what? Let's have our guests.
So Yolanda, last week,
can someone turn their sound down or mute?
The child in the way that they should go, and when
can someone in the Zoom room mute?
From it. And that is a very well-known scripture that comes out of Proverbs.
All right.
I know a lot of people quote it, and they know it.
Somebody's on. I cannot hear.
It's me. I think it's me.
Yeah.
Action,
can you mute?
My goodness, it really hits you.
Where should I? I'm listening at y'all on the.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find the mute button.
Yes. But something happened between us being little girls.
Okay, I guess maybe I'm looking at last week.
Yeah, you're looking at last week, but we can hear it. All right.
Okay.
So,
hello, can
mute.
You guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure, because I was hearing a lot of things, but I see.
Yeah, I had to mute Felicia. Felicia was she was listening to last week's show. So I am going to again go to our guest. I want you to tell us, Stacey Williams, a little bit about yourself and tell us what is happening with you before we get into this topic.
So thanks for having me on the program this evening.
Yes.
So Stacey Williams, I'm 37 years of age presently. I am a proud single parent. At present, I work as a banker, but I recently started writing, and I have 2 books out as at now.
Mm-hmm.
And just a fun-loving, outgoing person. I'm a lover of life. I am a mental fitness enthusiast. It's something that I encourage. And I'm just all about giving thanks, being grateful, and keeping positive.
Okay. I like that. And so you said that you have a book out, right? Tell us a little bit about your book and what was the inspiration behind writing that book.
So my book, Memoir of Kitty's Number 17. I know sometimes when I say the title, people look kind of like, what is that? But my father was Keith Williams, and I'm his 17th child. So that's pretty much what the title
17?
is. Yes, of 18.
Wow. Okay.
So the book pretty much covers my life journey from age 16 to 32. And I know sometimes when you say to people, it's your life story, then they're like, why would they be interested in reading, my life story? But it gives the highs and the lows of my life journey, and the experiences, which at age 16, I think was a lot for a teenager, but nevertheless they are what they are. And it's just to encourage anybody who might be in a similar situation now, to say that you might be there now, but that doesn't have to be your final destination. You can overcome this. Better is there for you. Just to encourage anybody, just to say that you'll get through it. It speaks of me being pregnant as a teenager, so it covers teenage pregnancy.
Oh, wow.
It covers a relationship with an older male. It covers pretty much the mental, physical, the emotional abuse that came from being in a toxic relationship. And it covers me eventually leaving that relationship, and subsequently being left with a child, so having to kind of navigate my way as a single parent, and just overcoming all of that, and being this person who I am today.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So who are you today?
That's awesome.
I am child of the Most High.
All
I'm
right.
fearfully and wonderfully made.
Come
I'm
on,
blessed
sister.
and highly favored. I'm just everything positive as it is now. I have healed from the trauma that I have suffered, and I'm just this very vibrant and encouraging person now. Some of my friends refer to me as the affirmation queen, because every day I'm always sending them affirmations, things to speak over your life, just to be positive about everything that is happening, and to just encourage people to say that things might not be as you would like it to be now, but do not give up, because even one step each day is taking you further along the journey.
That's awesome. I'd like to interject for just a second, if you don't mind. My name is Dr. Yolanda Taylor, and what you're saying is just, it fits right in to what we're doing here on the show. It's Beautiful You Inside and Out. Beautiful You Inside and Out is a nonprofit organization, and what we do is cater to the hurting woman to help them to create healthy boundaries for our lives. We all have had different things that we walk through. Same thing but different is what I like to say. So what we come together to do is to encourage and to lift up and to inspire. So it sounds like that's what your book is all about.
Definitely. That's what the book is about, and that's what I try to actually be about, because even like my old mantra now, which is like, being mentally fit, because I look at it to say that we put so much emphasis on being phically fit, and looking good, but mentally we are weak, right? We don't.
I am in so much agreement with that. We need to. I'm a firm believer in believing that we need to address our mental health the same as we would our physical health. Yeah. And many times that's easy for us to sit here to say, but so many people really just don't want to accept it because they just look at it as such a negative. But I usually share with people, if you're having chest pains, what would you do? You're going to call help. You're going to dial 911. You're going to seek help. So if you're having unnatural thoughts, or you find yourself unable to focus, or anything outside of what you may consider, a good path for you, to just simply reach out. I think people should consider having a therapist, just like you have your medical physician.
Yeah. But I think sometimes, like you say, it's a lot of work, and the steps that you have to go through, and sometimes, some of the trauma that you have to heal from, and what you have to do to heal from that trauma. People look at it as a lot of work, and sometimes we're lazy and we don't want to put in the work. So, it's easier for us to just sit aside and mope about and just say, okay, I'm this way because this happened to me, and without trying to actually heal from the things that has happened to us, so that we can be free, and I don't think people understand the value of that freedom. It's a different type of freedom when you have accepted the things that has happened in your life, and they can no longer hold you prisoner. And my book was me doing that, because I think people see it and think that is me trying to get back at my ex, and that's nothing to do with it. Nothing. This was like the final piece of the puzzle on my healing journey, I mean, I started trying to write the book in 2013 and I couldn't because I was overcome with emotion every time I started to write some of the things that had happened to me. But when I restarted in January, it was just me flowing and everything was good. And that's when I realized that I've really gotten over a lot of the things that I endured, because people thought that me writing it would evoke different kinds of emotions. But I was more laughing at myself. I was like, I can't believe you are this stupid. Did you really sit and do all these things and go through all this thing? But at that point, I was able to say that, you know what? I had actually healed from the trauma. I was no longer angry at the person. I was no longer angry about the things that he had put me through. I had just accepted the journey and accepted the fact that this was part of, my journey, and the things that I have gone through. It was just part of my growth process, So end of the day, it has made me a better person, and I'm happy for that.
So before we get ready to go on break, because the time is just flying away. So we're talking about trauma and we're talking about healing. What is it being a single parent is traumatic and is something that we need to heal from? Is it the fact that we're a single parent, or is it the experience, or is it the fact that how society looks on, especially women who are single parents? What is it that we find the most traumatic out of being a single parent?
For me personally, I think it's the fact that during our schooling process, we are, educated about the nuclear family being the ideal family and that sort of thing. So, mother, father, child, or children. So once it is that your situation does not reflect what it is that you were taught to be a societal norm, you feel as though that, you're going to be kind of segregated from others. And we see it in schools where, because sometimes even when there were functions at my son's school, and there would be both parents there, sometimes there would be the question, the fact that I was there by myself, as a single parent. So I think that's one of the things, because I remember even at one point there was like a father-son kind of day, and my son's father was not, in the picture. And, I remember saying to them at the school, I don't know how to deal with this, because his father is not around, to be a part of this.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, oh, can you find a brother or uncle or somebody? And, I felt very defeated in that moment,
Mm-hmm.
because I felt as though I was failing my child, because whilst everybody else would have been able to participate in this particular exercise, my son would have been excluded.
Right.
But, thankfully, child I have is a remarkable child. And, I think he understood a lot of what was going on and why it was necessary for me to actually part ways with his dad. And because of that, even though sometimes things were not always the best, he did not at any point in time make me feel as though I was failing him. He was very supportive.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he was a child, but he was very supportive. So, even if it is that I wasn't able to do everything in that moment, he didn't complain. And I was appreciative of that. But I think it's a trauma of us not fitting into society. I think that's what makes it a little difficult, how we're going to be viewed. Why did the father leave you? Why doesn't he want to be a part of the child's life? That kind of thing.
And that happens both ways, right, Yolanda? That can happen with the mom, right? It could be traumatic, but it also could be traumatic for the child as well. Because a lot of times, and I've heard this said, the child thinks, well, why wasn't I good enough? Well, why daddy didn't want to be with me? And that's traumatic, because a young person, their mind is not mature enough to understand the concept that it didn't work out with mommy and daddy. They always think that it's them. Yolanda, I know you wanted to say something.
No, that's okay. I think this is an awesome discussion that we have here. What I would like to share is I really think that there is different components to this whole entire thing. Because when we start out, you asked about what's traumatic and things like that. Well, when you are a young mother, the very first thing is we're young. Children, they don't come with the manual. We don't know what to do. And in my case, I lost my mom myself at 13. I didn't have much I should say guidance, but the Lord did bless me. I had a godmother, I had aunts that did step in. So to say what was tragic, the whole ball of everything for me would be, number one, just being young, not knowing, just learning. I had to learn how to embrace the unknown. I had to learn how to trust, and that's like when we talk about a lot of the things that make us strong. When we look at these devotionals, the reason why we were led to read, this is beautiful, UN signing out, 21-day devotional. Lady Raine, she has hers 1 year. You have yours, Sister Williams. We're led to do these things based on the journey that was destined for us to travel. So the very first thing I think, besides just being new at it, there's no manual, we don't know what to do. The biggest of it all to me was fear, because God did not give us a spirit of fear. However, you have to grow, you have to learn, you have to be a believer and learn how to stand strong, and the scripture we talked about last week, when you raise up a child in the way that you would have them to go, we definitely will fall back to the roots, to what we know. We're going to go back to what we are most comfortable with and what we know. And that's in the word. So we know that it's definitely going to take space in our lives. But just making it short, the thing that really was a blessing to me is, for me, first, to understand that our lives are no mistake. They're all divine appointment, things that we experience and we go through, whether it feels good, whether it feels not so good. It's still necessary. And the old saying they had, that doesn't kill you will make you stronger. Well, God says he's given us his promises. See, the roots that we came from, I don't know, Sister Williams, if you were with us last week, but we're taking a journey together. Lady Raine and I, we started talking about our childhood. Everything ties from the very beginning, and we're going to come in full circle. But just always know that whatever you face, it's always something positive. A lot of times life will cloud our way, and believe you me, I don't know. I believe that this is my dear sister that I love so very much, who has been on here and joined us. I believe it's Shirley. I don't know if it's my Shirley that I know or another Shirley that's visiting us, but I can tell you that she has walked with me many ways. She's seen me in many areas. And see, that's what unconditional love, and that's what unconditional love does, is it causes you to support one another in the weak times and in the strong times. But this is a conversation that we could actually carry on for a bit. There's a lot for me to share, a lot for Dr. Lady Raine, a lot for you, Sister Williams, as well as a lot of the other ladies that are on. We need to come together like this more often. We're in a filling station. This is where we get to fill up, so that we're not depleted as we share for each and every one in our lives. And I'm going to wrap it up with that.
So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to give our listeners and our viewers just a sneak peek into our book, because we don't want to give you the whole book, because we want you to purchase the book. But we were talking about trauma, and we were talking about how it could be traumatic for a mom raising a child on their own. So when we come back, we're talking about rising the diamond in you. So we have those rough edges, which is the trauma, right? But how can we make that traumatic experience, how could we turn that into a bright, shiny diamond? So we'll talk about that when we come back. Don't go away. Make sure you share. And those who are joining us, please get your questions ready, because we're going to allow 1 or 2 questions when we come back.
Have you ever wanted to host your own inspirational radio show? Have you been called to inspire and spread God's word? Please contact Raine for more info.
Are you the next great independent artist, but you're looking for a distribution opportunity? Well, sign with us at PRAYzy Music Distribution. Yes, the 2021 Stellar Award nominated PRAYzy can handle it all. We understand the narrow road leading to getting your music heard at the right time at the right place can be tough. So send your music and video files to fmpraise@gmail.com. That's fmprayz@gmail.com. PRAYzy Music Distribution, affiliated with Sony Music and the Orchard Distributors.
All right, we are back. We do have a couple of more commercials, but we're going to continue on, and then I'll end the show with the final commercials that we do have. But what I do want to say is, before we went on break, we talked about trauma and how that trauma actually shaped us into a beautiful diamond. If you look at a diamond, you can see the diamond. Those who are viewing on our Facebook pages, you see a beautiful shiny diamond, and it's shaped. You know, it may have like a little diamond shape. Some of them have circular shapes, but it is shaped. So how did our trauma shape us into being a shiny diamond? So I'm going to start with you, Stacey, since you're our guest. We're going to let you lead this discussion.
So my trauma actually forced me to do some introspection, like what it is about me that attracted, you know, this negativity. What is it that is in me that, you know, led me to remain in this toxic situation for so long? And clearly it could not just be about the other party. There was something in me as well that I needed to look into to see what was it. And I think I really didn't know who I was, and the fact that I got involved in that relationship at a very young age as well, because, you know, at 16 I was already in that relationship. I don't think I actually got to find myself and to develop a sense of who I was. So I was just being who that person wanted me to be, you know. And once I exited the situation, you know, I took the time out to look into myself, to become more self-aware, to start loving myself. Because one of the things I looked at was the fact that had I loved myself enough, I wouldn't have stayed in the situation as long as I did, because I would have recognized how badly it was affecting me and would have taken myself out. So once I did all of that and, you know, become this, I would say a new person, because I was now seeing a side of me and loving me a way that I didn't love myself like that before, you know. I got to the stage where I was looking in the mirror and everything I was seeing there, I was appreciative of, you know, faults and all, you know. I was accepting of everything that I saw there. And once I got to that stage, then, you know, I realized that what I was really missing out on, and I really wouldn't have been able to find this person had I not, you know, take myself out of that bad situation. And I'm thankful for it, because it actually pushed me to go and find out who I was, because I didn't know who I was. You know, I was just being who somebody wanted me to be, or who I thought, you know, was going to keep this person happy, you know. So I'm very appreciative of everything that has happened, like good and bad.
Yeah.
Thankful for it all.
And that's good. I'm gonna share after Yolanda shares just a little portion from the book that I wrote. But Yolanda, How has single motherhood shaped you into being the diamond that you are today? You're muted.
Okay. All right. I'm unmuted, you guys. Thank you for your patience. I had my son at a very young age, and it was an experience that I could not have ever imagined. And the reason why I'm going to say this is I was stricken with grief through the loss of my mother at 13, and I pretty much grew up that way. So when I got pregnant with my son, it was about me and him. It was just like he was just everything to me at that time. Because I was married young, my marriage was, we were young. Mm-hmm. It was just that. So mm-hmm. things were not what they were supposed to be. And I had to step out, and I had to do the things that many other single mothers had set out to do. Mm-hmm. But I will say that my son, having him, becoming a young mother, I was able to decide, okay, this little person I'm all he had. Mm-hmm. He's all I have. So we wrapped around each other, and within that experience, regardless of the challenges that I faced each and every day, I was able to go strong by looking at him, knowing that I had to make sure that this little person could eat, he could have a place to stay, and he could live a good life. So that is what pressed upon me to do the right thing. Even when I was in a bad marriage and different things would happen within a marriage, I chose to separate myself from the things that was going to pull me away from being the best mother that I could be. I mean, I only could do what I knew, but that was the thing that really changed my life, was when I had my son and watching him grow up and being an example for him, because I wanted to be there for him. My prayer was, Lord, let me live to see my child grown, because I lost my mom at 13 mm-hmm. and he's blessed. My baby's now 36. Mm-hmm. So it's been an awesome and amazing journey. But I do accredit the fact that I was a young mother raising him, and I did some things, you guys. The Lord covered me in many a things. Mm-hmm. I mean, many a things. A lot of bad decisions that I made, when you marry young and you feel like you're all in love and they're not doing right, mm-hmm. Just like we talked about last week, my son has a sibling that's 4 months older than him. So that's just a good idea as to some of the things that I was having to walk out. But God is good. He never fails. Me and my son had $42 a month at the end of the month if I paid all my bills. So I juggled bills. I can't tell you now, when I look back, how I made it. But I did make it. And I'm here to say, and it can be done. God is no respecter of person. The same thing he'll do for me, he'll do for you.
So we're going to take a quick break. I am going to open the floor up for questions, and we'll be right back after this break.
Hey, Praise family, meet service disabled Navy veteran Howard Martell. He's a Christian, family man, and business owner of Howard Superstore. Howard, tell us more about the store.
Some of our top sellers include Gen Mink. It's 100% pure mink oil and provides exactly what your skin needs. Gen Java Gourmet Arabica CBD coffee with an unbelievably good taste. Jenny's Roll-On Pain Relief. Gen Health, which supports a healthy immune system. Ultimate Keto, Ultimate Body Formula. Gen Pet Mats, Total Pet Health for cats and dogs. And Gen Ties, Clean Hands. We're also super enthused to bring Gen Energy to the consumers. This is a power factor correction unit installed in your home or business, and it absolutely helps reduce high energy bills from power companies.
Learn more about these amazing products. Visit howardsuperstore.com. That's howardsuperstore.com.
There is an exciting new book out named Transition by author Crystal Sauls. This book talks about her changes from childhood to adulthood and other things that happened in her life. This book is also a testament that anyone can turn a negative life into a great life. Transition has recently become a bestseller on Amazon. You will find exciting and realistic reviews about this best-selling book. So, visit thetransitionbook.com and order your autographed copy of Transition today.
Shop Soulful Touch Roses for your personally designed rose at soulfulgifts.etsy.com.
Atlanta, we're back with the live television taping of AT&T's presentation of the 2022 Black Music Honors at the Comp Energy Center May 19th, hosted by LaToya Luckett and D. Ray Davis. The Black Music Honors, recognizing Drew Hill, Karen White, Carrie Hilson, Mary, Tevin Campbell, The Whispers, with special performances by Drew Hill, 112, Eric Bellinger, Kid and Play, Amber Riley, Carl Thomas, and many more. AT&T presents the Black Music Honors, May 19th at the Cobb Energy Center. Get your tickets now at blackmusichonors.com.
Attention! Music Fest has opened its doors of opportunity for a short period of time to musical talents to perform. For more information about participating in the Music Fest shows, please contact Let's Connect at A2ZChristlife.com or www.PRAYzy.fm.
Unique Sounds Music Group presents a Music Fest on Carnival Freedom, January 26th through the 30th, 2023. Sailing from Orlando, Florida to Nassau and Princess Cay, Bahamas. Reserve your spot today with just $25 by contacting booking at uniquesounds.com.
Yeah, guys, PRAYzy.fm got a lot of stuff going on. This Thursday, we are going to be in Atlanta at the Black Music Honors celebration at Cobb Center. So make sure you get your tickets and meet us there, blackmusichonors.com. We're also headed to I call it my Prayziversary birthday cruciation in January. We're headed to the Bahamas. So guys, stay connected. Just stay connected with us. We'll be heading to Atlanta again, and we'll have more information on that when we get more info for the Stellar Awards. Y'all know we the 2021 Stellar nominated, 2022 Stellar Top 10 station. So yeah, we are celebrating in Atlanta. So just stay posted. If you have anything, any event, any brand, any advertisements, any commercials that you would like for us to share on air, contact us at fmprayzy@gmail.com, and we will definitely find a place for it in our show. So we are coming up. It seems like, Yolanda, 30-minute show is just not enough time. We probably gonna have to increase it to at least 45 minutes to an hour, but that's okay. That's okay. God is good. We can go over because guess what? It's my radio station. So, hey.
Praise God.
So I do want to open the floor up. I can't see who all is on in the Zoom call. And just to let you guys know, right before the show starts, we have an awesome prayer call. So if you would like to take part in that prayer conference call, It starts at 8:45, I want to say, Eastern time. That's 5:45 over here in Arizona. Just hit me up and I'll give you the information so that you could be part of that prayer call. And so we do have people that's hanging out with us after the prayer call. So if anybody is on the line and they have a question for us, go ahead and unmute, and I'm gonna allow us two questions. Anybody that have any questions? Any comments? Come on, this is interactive. Hey Kim, I see you, Kim, in the chat box. Kim, you got any questions or any comments you want to say about single motherhood? Go ahead and put it in the comments. Well, since we're moving on, I guess we'll just go right on into our closing thoughts. So my closing thought, I wanted these beautiful ladies to share. But my closing thought, and again, you can get The Power of PMS book. It's on Amazon.com. It's by Alicia Middleton. It is my journey of deliverance through dysfunction on the path to my destination. So I want to leave everyone with John 12:24. And it reads, "Most assuredly, I say to you, unless a grain of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it produces much grain." And so my interpretation of that is, we didn't set out to be single parents, right? We thought that we were going to be in this with our significant other. But I guess that wasn't the journey for us. And so when you look at a grain and it falls from the ground and dies, it remains alone, right? And so we had to go through a series of being alone. We had to go through a series of our life appearing as if it was dead. Just as you look at a grain, you look at a seed, when it goes into the ground, you don't see it no more. It goes into a very dark, lonely place, right? But if it doesn't do that, it won't produce any grain. So I would say, from my experience, by me going through that, it did something in me. Something died, but yet from that death, more fruit and more grain was produced. And so it made me into the person that I am today. And so I would not, first of all, I would never, ever, ever deny or feel bad for having my children, because they are God's gift to me. They are a blessing to me. And hey, I'm just blessed. I had to go through that experience, but the experience has made me stronger. Not only as a single parent, because as I, grew up, I was able to have relationships, and my children are now being raised by my husband. So I started out late. Like, I wasn't young like you, Yolanda, and you, Stacey. I had my first child in my 30s. Okay, and I was still a single parent in my 30s. So yeah. So Maxine Forster is asking, do we all have birthdays in January? Maxine, my birthday is January 20th. I know Dr. Yolanda's birthday just passed, right?
October 19th, yes.
So that was a question. And Stacey, when is your birthday?
January 2nd.
So look, y'all, let's go on this cruise. Let's celebrate. Let me tell you, all you need is $25 down to reserve your room, and then you make your payments. It's a payment in June, then there's a registration fee in July, then there's another payment in August, and then the final payment is in October. It's leaving out of Orlando, Florida. Come on, it's 4 days, 3 nights of music, and PRAYzy.FM will have a gospel concert on one of those nights. So yeah, thank you for that question. This is Delroy Williams. This is for Miss Stacey. Did she ever want to just give up?
A lot of times. That would have been the easier thing to do, to just, say, look, just throw in the towel and give up. But, like Dr. Yolanda said before, once that child was placed in my arms and I knew that, he was now my responsibility. And, I had to do whatever was necessary for him. And, he has been and continues to be my driving force and my biggest motivational factor. Like everything I do because of him. Because, in my mind, I'm saying to myself, I cannot shortchange him in any way at all. Not because, I didn't choose the ideal partner as a father, but and the absence of a father figure. But I've made that commitment to myself to say I will not allow him to feel as though he's less than anybody else because his situation is different.
Wow, that's really I'm gonna throw that question on you, Yolanda. Did you ever wanted to give up?
I think that is the natural thing. Sometimes you get tired because if we're truthful, your tank gets empty because you give and you become depleted. But the thing about it is I did not realize when I was 13 and I lost my mother, that was the most tragic thing ever, and I didn't want my son to have to grow up without his. But what I didn't realize at the time when I was thinking that was the most terrible thing that could ever happen to me, even though I love my mother, I missed her for many years, and now I have come to just love her and be able to feel her presence through all of the wonderful memories that I have now. But at that time I had to learn to grow. I had to learn, okay, my mother wasn't here, but I had no time. I had no time to listen to the things that was sometimes making me feel down or making me feel sad. Keep in mind that the enemy we say, oh, the devil made me do it. But you know what?
Come on.
The enemy can only affect your thoughts, which will cause you to do things that may hurt yourself. But I was driven so strongly that the grief that I was experiencing and didn't understand, I did not want that for my son. I wanted to live for him. I wanted to fight. We were raised in the church. We were taught in the church. And when I grew up and I started to learn how to take the word of God and apply it to my life, and I'm not saying this is anything easy, it is a process, and it's something that you have to get up and do. You fall down, you get up and dust yourself off, and you do it again. But once I had my son, who is the reason why I said, you saved my life. I looked at him many a times because I could have made other choices, but I did not, because I wanted to be here for him. So I had those feelings, Dr. Raine, but you know what's stronger? Love, life, belief. We have to stand strong. Speak things that be not as though they were. Just continue to encourage yourself. We go back to our roots, and guess what? Maybe if you don't have your roots, we all have roots, but we may not have the same type of roots. Right. But hold on to the positive things that we all have them.
I would say,
we can do it.
I would say with me, mentally and physically, my body wanted to give up, but there was something in my spirit that would not allow me. I actually went through panic, anxiety attacks, depression, medication. So my body was giving up. My mind was giving up, but my spirit was not. As you said, Yolanda, I would look at my babies and that would be my will to continue on, because if something happened to me, then where would they be? And it's not their fault. And so, so I do have another question. Courtney Williams wants to know, ladies, if you were to live your lives over, would it be the same? Stacey?
I think for me, everything that has happened in my life happened how it was supposed to have happened. And, our lives is already ordained, it's just as to when each chapter unfolds, but it's already planned. So for me personally, there isn't anything that I would change, because my experiences have made me the person that I am now. And without them, I'm not sure where I would be. Probably I would still be in the world trying to search to find who I am.
Right.
And the fact that I've had those experiences, I can now, solidly say who I am as a person. Like, I don't need validation from anybody. I validate myself, right? I'm not waiting for anybody to tell me who I am as a person. I know that I'm very self-aware. So I wouldn't change anything, I see everything that has happened. I see my journey as I see the positives in it.
Right.
And the lessons that I've learned, I could not learn in any university. So I'm very
Come
thankful for
on. Yeah. I like that. Yolanda.
Yes, I like that too. I totally agree. I'm going to tell you, sitting where I am now, looking back at everything, at the very beginning, I mean, it was hard. It was scary, when I was young, and I'm having this. I'm married. I got married, but the marriage wasn't what it was supposed to be, and I was having to do all these different things. So, at one time, I was just so scared. I just cried out because I just didn't really know what to do. But as time went by, I can say that I really appreciate everything that I experienced, even though a lot of times I feel like I'm actually living my life. I used to say backwards, but I changed that, because backwards can be looked at as somewhat negative, but my life isn't that at all. Even sometimes when things appear to be hard, it appears to be sad, it appears to be tough, but there is, like I say, sunshine after the storm. You just have to kind of go through it. So as I was going through it, I didn't understand a lot of the reasons why, but because of my son, he made me happy. He made me strong. He made me persevere. And many of my happiest times of my life was with my son. But I will tell you this, because I had my son young, I wouldn't change anything, just like the other ladies have said, but I didn't live the fun life that you might hear some people, I didn't get to go out, didn't do a lot of dating, didn't do all of that. But guess what? There's light at the end of the tunnel, because now my son, I'm young, my son is 36, and I'm enjoying life. So I wouldn't do anything different. I thank God everything has turned out just to be wonderful. Even the challenges that I've gone through, I have learned how to embrace them and move forward, and just simply decide that I'm gonna live in a space of happy, joy. Even though that's not always what it is, but I just have to get myself together and say that that's what it's gonna be.
All right.
Making a decision.
Well, guys, we are 4 minutes to the end of our show, and I do want to let our listeners know how they can get our book. Maxine Foster says, Dr. Raine, I think you need to repeat this. Yeah, this is a topic that we can just go on and on and on. Delroy Williams says, Miss Stacey, you motivate me. Well, well, I do want to say this. Make sure you look us up. Stacey Williams. Her book is called Memoir of Keithies, number 17. Did I pronounce that right? Okay. Also, look up Yolanda Delphine. Beautiful You Inside and Out is the name of her book, and this is the cover. Do you have a copy of your book to show them?
Yes, it's on Amazon as well.
Yeah, I have that. And then mine's is, so she has her book. Keep your book up. Mine's is The Power of PMS. Dr. Alicia Lorraine Middleton. And so what I want to say for that last question, because I didn't get to give you my answer, but I'm going to give you what thus says the Lord. Would I change, if I could live my life over again, would I change it? Well, this is what God says, and I'm going to close out with this. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." Plans to give you hope and a future. And so, would I change? I would definitely. It may not have been easy. It may have been hard. But you know what? Those were the plans that God has given me. Plans to prosper me and not to harm me. So I am so grateful for for life's lessons and the joys of my children. So I thank you, Stacey Williams. You are always welcome. Just let us know when you want to come and hang out and chill with us. We could talk about a topic. You know, you get to select the next topic. And of course, our host, Dr. Yolanda Delphine, she's the one that got me from behind the cameras. Because, see, I don't come out in the evenings. You know, I guess I don't come out in the evenings.
I'm thankful for you, too. I'm thankful for you.
Well, this is PRAYzy.FM radio. You can listen to us 24 hours, 7 days a week. All you got to do is go to www.PRAYzy.FM. You be blessed, and we'll see you next week at the same time, 6:30 Arizona time and 9:30 Eastern time. Be blessed.
Good night.
That PRAYzy station, PRAYZ.FM, where we get our praise on. 24 hours, 7 days a week.